WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Numbers are still coming in today's citywide election in Aberdeen. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. The people of Aberdeen are voting in a police chief, mayor, and alderman. Here's a look at some of those numbers tonight. We're still waiting on 2 of the city's wards to finish counting those numbers. This is for the Aberdeen mayor. Right now, Tony Reese in the lead with 466. We're also following closely the police chief, that race as well. And as you can see, Henry Rendell, he's the incumbent. He's taking the lead there. Now, that race has been won very close. Earlier today, when there were just 2 wards reporting, that race was very close. We'll have to watch that closely. Again, we still are waiting on 2 more wards, as well as write-ins are not included in these numbers. We'll, of course, update you on air and online.
We do not need another committee. We need another commitment to love the way that Christ loves.
Pastors from churches throughout the Tupelo area, they met to pray for justice and change tonight. A clergy prayer rally for justice brought hundreds to the front of the Tupelo City Hall. This is in response to the death of George Floyd, who was killed in police custody in Minneapolis last week. Pastors prayed for healing in the nation and lasting change in the areas of race relations and injustice against minorities.
We should pray, ask for God's guidance, but we should get up and do something. Gideon was on his face, and the angel of the Lord came and said, Gideon, get up. He was praying, but he said, get up. There's sin in the camp. So we can pray, and we don't want that to be an excuse for anybody to just say, let's just pray about it. Prayer always challenges you to do something, because when you come before God and get prayer, God comes back and gives you a command to do something.
Pastors also addressed the nationwide riots taking place, saying those actions are drawing attention away from the cause. Across the nation, people are responding to the death of George Floyd and making their voices heard. An Alabama man says that he's not just talking the talk, he decided to walk the walk, 1,000 miles to Minnesota. His destination, the spot where George Floyd died. George Daphnis reports from Huntsville.
Terry Willis is a father, a business owner, and today he's stepping out hoping for change.
A lot of people are just fed up because they're like, all right, enough is enough. You just murdered this man in front of the world on camera. That can't happen. We can't let that go. And that's why I am marching 1,000 miles for change, justice, and equality.
He knows it won't be easy. No matter how long it takes, he says he will finish what he's starting.
I get fatigued. I know how to drink water. I know how to stop and rest. There's no time. I'm not rushing this. I'm doing this for me and everybody else in my way. And this is my way. I will take my time and I will make it there.
As Willis moves along his journey, the life he wants for his 7-year-old son will be a driving force to keep him moving.
The history that I'm going to make today is definitely for him. I want him to be able to live, to grow up, and not have to deal with any of this.
The end result he hopes to see isn't complicated.
It's so funny and it's so simple. I just would really love for us, African Americans, they call us black people, whatever, colored, just for us to be seen as equals. That's it.
And even the smallest step in the right direction can make an impact and a change.
Back here at home, a man now faces a manslaughter charge in connection to a fatal weekend shooting in Columbus. It happened in the parking lot of the Holiday Inn Express early Sunday morning. Michael Geis, police accused of killing Otis Latham. WCBI's Quentin Smith shares what police think is a crucial part to their investigation.
With his head bowed, wearing handcuffs and shackles, Michael Geis was brought into this conference room where a judge read the manslaughter charge in the killing of Otis Latham. This is video from the scene of the shooting in the Holiday Inn Express parking lot over the weekend.
I can't go into all the details on what we used specifically to get the charge, but it was enough probable cause, enough evidence for a judge to sign a warrant for manslaughter.
Police Chief Fred Shelton says investigators don't know what the victim was doing at the hotel. However, he says Geis was in his vehicle in the parking lot and alleges he was trying to get a room. Shelton says police also want to know where the two men were when the gunfire started.
I don't know if he was in his vehicle or not. Right now, we're still processing the vehicle that Mr. Geis had and trying to find evidence that he was in this vehicle. We're looking for fingerprints and fibers and other things that we do to conclusively say that he was in this vehicle. Right now, we don't have that information.
Police are now waiting on a preliminary autopsy report, which could give a better idea about what happened.
What we're looking for, we'll examine his clothes real closely to look for trace evidence. We'll examine the wound pattern, see was it close range, when the bullet was fired, where the round actually killed, what actually caused the death.
Geis is expected to make his preliminary court appearance in August, but in the meantime, detectives will be searching for other pieces of evidence to back their case.
At this point, we don't have any physical evidence, neither we have any witness statements to corroborate what Mr. Geis said. So the only thing that's going to be able to speak to us, since Mr. Latham is not here, is the physical evidence. That's going to tell us where we're at.
That was our Quentin Smith reporting. A bond for Geis was set at $75,000. A man is facing charges in connection with a shooting in the drive-thru of a fast food restaurant. This also in Columbus. 21-year-old Clintuan Docher is charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault. He's expected to make a court appearance to have his bond set earlier today. We don't have that information at this time. The shooting happened the night of May 15th. This happened in the Cookout parking lot right here in the Friendly City. Investigators believe Docher got into an argument with another driver, which led to this shooting. A car was also hit during that scuffle. Well, a man is recovering after a 4-wheeler crash this afternoon in Lowndes County. The accident happened on Lake Lowndes Road near Johnny Road. Witnesses say the ATV was on top of the driver when they found him. Lowndes County volunteer firefighters, Baptist EMS, and Lowndes County deputies all responded to this accident. We're told the driver did go to the hospital. The Sheriff's Department has not released any information about how the crash may have happened or the extent of the man's injuries.
Weather-wise this evening, we've been watching out for some isolated showers and thunder showers. Things really falling apart. We're looking in Louisville, Mississippi. We had a pretty good lightning show not too long ago, but notice how the shower has just collapsed over Noxapater. Still a few other blips out there just to the south of French Camp and also to the northeast of Sturgis. And there's a few other cells down here in Kemper County that could meander back to the north a little bit as well. So not everyone will see a shower storm tonight, but can't rule it out. No severe weather, nothing like that. But lows will be muggy, 70 degrees or so, or the upper 60s tomorrow, mid to upper 80s, more scattered showers and thunder showers around the region. So a better opportunity for some rain if you missed out today. Your full forecast coming up.
Well, Mississippi hasn't seen a drop-off in COVID-19 cases. It's why you're hearing state officials pleading yet again this week for folks to take personal responsibility. Governor Tate Reeves said yesterday that he doesn't want to have to roll back any of the reopenings or restrictions that have been lifted. But we also know that one metric Reeves and the state look to when making those kinds of decisions is not just case count, but hospital capacity. Courtney Ann Jackson has more.
State Health Officer Dr. Thomas Dobbs has taken to social media more in recent days to send a message to Mississippians that COVID-19 isn't over.
Is ongoing case counts, which are pretty significant and growing. Although we are testing more, it's not that. It's really, there's cases out there. It's happening.
Dobbs' tweet Tuesday morning shows Mississippi's rising cases alongside other states. He says it's not just preventing transmission, but also about the impact it's having on the healthcare system, especially regionally. A look at the Department of Health's hospitalization chart shows the number of patients in the ICU and those on ventilators. The orange and blue lines you see have remained steady through the last month.
Over the weekend, we had the most ventilated patients with coronavirus that we've had this whole time. We're down to 97 now, but over the weekend, we had 108 people who had coronavirus who had respiratory failure on the respirators.
President-elect of the Mississippi State Medical Association, Dr. W. Mark Horn, says what the state did early on was effective at keeping us from spiking early.
Unfortunately, we have hit this long, slow plateau that is very, very painful.
Horn says they're finding that many of the severe COVID-19 patients are requiring extended hospital stays that pull from resources and add to the concern.
This should be a time where we're seeing a decline, and we're not. And we worry that that means that things are going to be significantly worse going forward if we can't break the back of this by going back to the basics of preventing the spread of the virus.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
Dr. Horn says good personal hygiene and public health measures are the only way to slow the virus. Good intentions are not enough. Well, Columbus Mayor Robert Smith and the city councilmen, they approve a new COVID-19 resolution. These regulations address child care facilities and retail stores. Our Stephanie Poole explains what some of those changes are.
On Tuesday, Columbus City leaders announced a new order for the city.
We pretty much followed the governor guidelines, which ours was a little stricter as far as the 10 feet distance. We changed that.
Mayor Robert Smith says the changes target daycare facilities and shopping centers. He says the rule stating that children can't touch their hands or faces has been removed, and classes of more than 10 are permitted.
Some of the information that I have received from the child care providers is that at the way that the city guidelines were under the COVID-19 pandemic guidelines, is that they were just too strict. So rather than opening it up, they would just wait until some changes were made.
Shopping stores should keep 6-foot floor markings present to promote social distancing, and employees are encouraged to wear masks.
As a government, even local government, state government, we can only do what we can do. So right now it's all about self. You have to make sure you look out for yourself and do the things that are going to protect you and your family. You're going to have some people that's going to follow, and you're going to have some people that won't, But we urge everybody to follow the directions so that we don't keep increasing these cases.
James Woodward, MD of Allegro Family Clinic in Columbus, says if citizens follow the regulations, there is a possibility for coronavirus cases to potentially slow down.
The virus is still present. We don't have a vaccine. Social distancing, I think wearing the mask is a really good idea. People get tired of doing things that are different or a little foreign to what they're used to. So, but they have to make those choices themselves.
In the meantime, city leaders are urging the public to follow the orders.
It's going to take some time. It's still a fear in people's mind, and it should be because the numbers are still going up. But hopefully with the things that the governor have done and that we've done locally, we can get back to a little normalcy as long as they follow the guidelines that are set for them.
Reporting in Lowndes County, Stephanie Poole, WCBI News.
The new regulations, they take place immediately. All right, we're going to send things back over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Keith, I said it earlier, today was one of those days you could really feel that humidity back in action.
Yeah, it's getting thick out there, and those days will just continue here. Some clouds in the region this evening from Clay County. Look at that. Sandra sends us that. You may want to download the WCBI News app. Of course, the latest forecast of your weather alerts, and you can share your pictures and videos. We'll have that full 7-day forecast.
WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
The lazy, hazy days of summer are here. The second day of June was today. Some clouds moving through the region today. Very warm, very sticky, highs in the low 90s. Now, those clouds building this evening, actually giving rise to a few isolated showers. The one that produced a pretty good downpour and a lightning show south of Louisville, basically gone. Over the last hour, that thing popped up and quickly diminished. Right over French Camp, we have a downpour. And just to the southwest of Adeton in Oktibbeha County, a brief shower and a little thunder shower down here just to the southwest of southwestern parts of Noxubee County. That's drifting back to the north too. So a little bit of rain perhaps tonight. Most spots won't see it. We will all stay warm and muggy, lows around 70. Here's Robin, our first alert forecast helper tonight. We start out tomorrow 72 degrees at 7 a.m. By the afternoon and thereafter, scattered rain and storms are a typical summertime fare. Some of you may get a pretty good soaking. Other spots may not see anything tomorrow. But these summer storms like to produce lightning, heavy downpours, gusty breezes, maybe a little bit of small hail if you get one of those stronger storm cells. No widespread severe weather expected tomorrow, but standard summer weather around here. And by midday, already in the mid-80s here. And then once we get into the afternoon, wherever the storms form, you're going to cool down quickly into the 70s. But if you don't see a storm, you will stay warm and muggy all day long. So it's just going to be random who sees what tomorrow. And then whatever we do have will go away tomorrow evening, much like this evening. We'll just repeat this again as we get into our Thursday, probably Friday too. So here's Thursday afternoon, warm, humid, scattered storms around the region. Some of you will get wet. Some of you will miss out. All right, here's the latest. Tropical storm Cristobal formed earlier today. It's actually been gaining strength as we've gone throughout the course of the evening hours. Sustained wind now up to 50 miles per hour. It's just meandering around here, moving south at 1. It will hang out here in the southern Gulf for the next few days and then lift back to the north, approaching the Louisiana coast by Sunday evening. And will this trend west or east? We'll see, but the model suggests more of a western track here. That would put us on the eastern side of it, and that could mean that we may see some heavier rain here, maybe even an isolated tornado threat as we get into early next week, but it's all dependent on where that system forms. This frontal boundary could actually nudge that back to the west a little bit. We'll wait and see. There could be some tropical rain early next week, but for the next few days, warm and steamy, upper 80s, scattered storms. There's your AccuWeather 70 forecast. More of the show after the break.
Watching WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Welcome back, everyone. Summer camps are making an adjustment to provide students the best experience possible during the COVID-19 pandemic. Our Bobby Martinez talks about the game plan on how one district is going virtual.
It was a school year like no other. The impact of COVID-19 has forced teachers and students to resort to distance learning. And here in Starkville, the school district will take the same approach for summer camps.
This is new to all of us.
How to make virtual camps a hands-on experience for students is the new challenge teachers are facing. Dr. Brandy Burton, Director of Innovation for Starkville School District, says a lot of planning went into making sure this experience for students is a success.
We wanted to offer a type of fun experience. We pride ourselves with being able to do summer camps in Starkville. So we just tried to sit down and think how we could stay within all the rules, but also offer something fun for the kids that would be learning and engaging at the same time.
Burton says there will be 4 summer learning opportunities for students, but one challenge they may face is keeping the students engaged.
Trying to limit the time that they will be on the Zoom based on their ages, because there's research showing how certain ages can stay engaged from 15 minutes to 30 minutes. You know, we're letting that come into play.
They also have a solution to any possible challenges.
A teacher may work with 5 students for this time period so that they're not all doing it at one time, just so they can give them that one-on-one attention and it not just be such a group effort.
Dr. Burton also says she is very excited about this year's virtual camp and is hoping everything goes well. Reporting in Starkville, Bobby Martinez, WCBI News.
Friday is the deadline to get the applications in for those summer camps. Well, a couple of Diamond Dogs earning some national recognition. More of that coming up next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
Although the college baseball season is canceled, a pair of Mississippi State Bulldogs still finding their names in the headlines. Freshman pitchers Christian McLeod and Will Bednar landing on the Collegiate Baseball newspaper's All-American list. McLeod was named Co-National Freshman Player of the Year, and Bednar named to the Freshman All-America squad. McLeod is the 3rd Diamond Dog to ever earn the honor. The W has officially named a new head softball coach. Charles Buddy Foster officially takes over the Owls program. Foster joins MUW after leading Greenville University for the last 4 seasons. During that time, Foster's team finished 2nd in the conference's regular season the last 3 seasons and securing 2 SLIAC tournament championships. Another high school football coaching change coming down the pipe just hours ago, and this one a rather familiar. First reported by Brad Locke of the Daily Journal. Former East Union head coach Kevin Walton has left his new position with East Webster. Walton led East Union for the last 5 seasons, finding success in each one. Under Walton, the Urchins have made 5 consecutive playoff appearances and back-to-back division titles in 2018 and 2019, finishing with a 35-24 overall record. Walton leaves to take an assistant position with Itawamba AHS. He had left the job with the Urchins in April to become the offensive coordinator for the Wolverines. Baseball makes its return to Northeast Mississippi this weekend. Here's a look at the weekend lineup for games coming up with the Tupelo 49ers. Friday, you can catch games at 5:30 and 7:30 between the Tupelo Junior 49ers and the Junior North Mississippi Indians, followed by the Senior Tupelo 49ers versus the Pontotoc Red Sox. Followed on Saturday with games at 1, 3, 5:30, and 8 p.m. The Tupelo 49ers, Huntsville Post, 237 Junior, North Mississippi Indians, and the Pontotoc Red Sox all competing, and everything closing out on Sunday with games at 1 and 3:30 p.m. These games between the 49ers and the North Mississippi Indians. That's it for sports. We'll have more for you when we come back. Stay with us.
More active around here, scattered showers and storms for the next few days, and then we'll see what happens next week, Scott, with that tropical system. Keep you updated going forward.
That sounds good. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great night. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.